So bench accounting has shut down, and my reaction to it hits on a couple of different areas. I'm Connor Shriver with Bookkeep Prosper, and today I'd like to give you my thoughts on the bench closure and subsequent acquisition by employers.com. Now, my first reaction to this message, and this is the message that all of the bench users received from bench, and it reads like this. Important message from bench accounting. We regret to inform you that we'll be shutting down bench services. Effective immediately, the bench platform will no longer be accessible. We understand this news may come as a surprise, are committed to helping you navigate this transition in the days to come. On the 30th of December, so this was on the 27th of December, I believe they sent this message out. On the 30th of December, you will be able to retrieve your records at data.bench.co, and they will be available until March 7th. So that is what, there's a little bit more in the email, but that is what the users of bench were given. And some even posted via social media that they had just recently paid, say, $2,000 for a tax return or upfront payments for multiple months of subscriptions, and still receiving this shutdown immediate notice, and that bench had readily accepted their money for that. Now, I suppose the reasons for shutting down you would assume to be financial. They haven't given any specific reasons. Now, this is a company that has raised tens of millions, I think 100 million maybe, in venture capital funding. So they have a very large user base. Their marketing was spot on. They had great, fantastic marketing. Canadian-based software as a service firm is what they branded themselves as. And what they did was they would pair their technology and their automation technology, especially using AI, etc., to automate your accounting, and they would pair that with a bookkeeper, which is, in a broad sense, what every bookkeeper is doing. They're pairing a software such as a QuickBooks or a Xero with your banks and pulling in that accounting records. They're using technology to make themselves more efficient, which is something you would want them to do. As they can become more efficient, right, they can most likely drive some of their costs down, save you money, or at the very least make your service more efficient and faster. And the goal would also be to make it more accurate. So that's not something that's an outlier for me. Now, they did provide it at a very low cost, or a very low introductory cost for their services, for their monthly services. And that is fine as well, as long as it's sustainable. Now, what we've seen here is what I would assume, with our work with other venture capital-backed companies, is that at some point, if they are in financial trouble, the investors will pull the plug and shut down the company. And that looks like what happened here. And then, but because they have a valuable product, employers came in and made an offer to purchase the company. So probably could have been handled better by bench, but what I would assume was the plug was pulled and then the purchase was made after, and then they made that announcement. So luckily for the bench users, they are going to start up on a new service. Now, they will need to decide whether or not, if you are a current bench user, whether you want to continue with employers.com as being the new owner, and not knowing how that will change, or if even all the employees or the bookkeepers associated with your account at bench are still there. My thoughts on this are, from a financial perspective, if you're a customer looking at bench and wanting to invest at the lowest cost you can for your accounting function, that is your prerogative, and it is one of the things you need to do for your company, is to look out for your costs. Now, a problem with the accounting field, the bookkeeping field, is that it is constantly perceived as, in many ways, a necessary evil, when it should really, and from my perspective, and what we try to do for our customers, is really provide value, give them the financial information, provide it clear financial information in a timely manner, so they can actually review it and make proper business decisions. You can see which direction your company is headed, if it's on the direction you want to look at, where you want to be, and then make decisions on that. So our goal is to provide is to, number one, take a task off your plate as the business owner to make it so you can focus more on running your company. And number two, make it so that we can provide actionable and helpful insights for you and your company. Now, we can't do that if we don't have a sound business model ourselves. And so when you work with a company like Bookkeep Prosper, or with many other bookkeeping companies out there, smaller ones, you want to make sure that they have a sound financial practice. Now, we've been profitable since day one. We're profitable with each additional client we bring in, and we have a very close-knit team that works to ensure that, number one, we're providing good service, and number two, we're striving to help you in your business and give you actionable insights, or be able to bounce ideas off of, or to just come to with your questions about your financials, and we can provide that back and forth feedback. So you want to make sure that you're working with a company that's also going to be able to provide you with that type of service, and that they're stable as you move into the future. Because what you don't want to have as here at December, or right before you need to file for a grant, or you're applying for a loan or some capital, or looking at investors, or wanting to manage your cash flow, that you have that accurate information, and that you're not going to all of a sudden come to a point where, hey, we're just cold turkey, we're going to cut off your service, and you won't have the ability to catch up or do whatever you need to do, and now it's back on your plate to find someone new, someone who can catch up, or do it yourself. So that's why we pride ourselves on being this is what we do for a living. We're profitable. We are designed that way to take care of our team, and to take care of, so that we can provide a stable and quality service for you, the client. Now, you may pay a little bit more for a company that has that stability and is not so reliant on technology. We're all reliant on technology to some point, and we want to use it to enhance our services, but not to create a model that doesn't work and that leads to a situation like Bench has, where they've had to shut down. If you're looking for some more information, Woodard has a good article here on what's happening here, and give some advice also. And this is an article written by Ryan Francis, and this is a good article. It also talks about industry reaction and action items, lessons you can learn, such as regular data backups, diversifying your tools, and doing your vendor due diligence. This is sort of what I'm touching base on here, is making sure that the vendors you work with are financially stable and can ensure their longevity. And also not someone who's, I'm doing this as a side gig. They may decide to start or stop that side gig at any time. This is our business, our full-time profession, and you want to find vendors who you can work with that can provide that as well. So nice article here. I'll put this link to this article in my report, or in this video, and I'll also follow up with a couple other pieces. You can also look at the press release from Bench themselves, talking about what this means for Bench customers as they move over to employers.com. So those are my initial reactions. Be careful of always going for the low-cost provider. There may be good reasons for it, may be great, but you want to just look at that with a grain of salt. Are you getting what you're paying for? Are they someone you can count on? And specifically with accounting firms that are venture capital backed, not that that's a problem, it can be a great source of growth, but they are then beholden to the investors, as opposed to what I prefer our priority to be, is beholden to you, our clients. Let me know if you have any questions or any thoughts, or want to learn more about Bookkeeping Prosper. I'd be happy to meet with you and talk about your business.